the Lakers won last night, 112-97 over the Dallas Mavericks in his hometown. Now, not hometown, but the team that drafted him, and the city that loved Luka Dončić. They still love him. You can tell even in a Laker uniform last night. I did the play-by-play of this game last night, and just the reaction from the fans. He had a well-standing ovation. They did a intro about him when he got drafted to the Dallas Mavericks, and it was very emotional for him. What it shows is that he didn't want to leave Dallas. He did not want to leave Dallas, but he made Dallas Mavericks pay with the performance that he put on last night. The man in 38 minutes had 45 points, 16 of 18 from the field, 7 of 10 from the three-point line, 6 of 9 from the free throw line, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, 4 steals. I'm going to be honest with you. This has been one of the best performances that I've saw out of Luka, and he wasn't tired.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't tired.
Mm-hmm.
Luka balled out last night, and he gave Dallas a show. Willie, what was your thoughts on the game last night?
Well, as one that has been credentialed to cover the Mavs in the past, and I was just thinking about this last night because I was there when Dirk played his last game. I got the whole 45-minute tribute still on my phone to this day. And how many years ago? That's been
almost 10 years?
No. It's been, I want to say 6 or 7 years.
Okay.
So however long Luka's been in the league is when that was, because he was a rookie when Dirk left. But I remember we had our NBA draft talk with the BGC Sports Network that year that he got drafted. And if you remember, there was a swap between the Atlanta Hawks and the Dallas Mavericks. So instead of,
because Luka was supposed to go to Atlanta, I remember that.
And Trae Young was arguably supposed to come here. And I remember one of my boys that was on the network at that time. His name is Charles Boyd. Charles, if you're out there listening, sir, do you remember your reaction when Luka was drafted instead of Trae Young? He basically said, this is a disastrous pick. This guy is going to be a bust, yada, yada, yada. And every time I would see or talk to him, I would throw it in his face, as the big brother would do to the little brother.
Right.
But last night, and for the emotion that he showed, humanized him. He humanized himself. And all of the rumors around the Dallas area, and you guys know out there watching that I live in the Dallas area. So the fans were absolutely livid when that trade was announced.
Right.
And they were even just as livid because there was no warning. And for the Lakers to be on the verge of possibly securing the number 3 seed and having a real opportunity, in my opinion, to make it to the NBA Finals, imagine what this area is going to feel like. Imagine what this area is going to do if that happens and the Mavs not even make the playoffs after last year going to the finals themselves. So that means what? Luka will be in the finals 2 years in a row.
Right.
I thought it was fantastic what the Mavs did. Some people think that the organization overdid it. I love the way that Mark Cuban embraced him afterwards, because Mark Cuban sold his shares of. He's no longer the owner of the team, and he was on record in saying that if I were still in charge, there's no way I would have traded Luka.
Right. But what was your thoughts on the game last night and how he performed? I don't know if you've seen the highlights.
I saw the game. I watched the whole game. So I said all that and didn't even answer the question, did I?
No. But I mean, you went down memory lane, so I can understand. I completely understand.
Yeah, and a little bit more about memory lane. He's a good kid. I've talked to him several times. I've had an opportunity to ask him a bunch of different questions both before the season and then after games, when they either won or lost. But he's a cool kid. But last night's performance, the dude had 31 points in 18 minutes at one point last night.
Yeah, it was almost, he had 35 at the half.
Yeah, but 31 points in 18 minutes. I think you always, as a player, whether you are traded or whether you are cut, you already know that there's something there that the team or the franchise doesn't want you anymore. So you always want to have your best game against the former team that you were with.
Right.
And in Luka's case, this is the place where he grew up. This is the place where he came in as an 18-year-old kid and he left here as a 24-year-old man or however old he is. I think the game itself and how he performed was typical Luka. This dude has been a professional basketball player since he was 13. So
yeah,
there's
playing
nothing
overseas, right?
Yeah, there's nothing that can phase him. He's been playing against grown men his entire life. So, I mean, the performance was what it was. I mean, I didn't expect anything any different.
But even looking at this box score, right? Like, if you look at, not even though the fact that Luka had 45, and Luka really had to do much in the fourth quarter. Come on, this game was close in the fourth quarter. LeBron James, and I know a lot of people out there hate LeBron James, but the fourth quarter that LeBron James had, it reminded me of a 30-year-old LeBron instead of a 40-year-old LeBron. The man played 36 minutes. He was 11 of 20 from the field. He was 0 for 4 for the three-point line, but the man had 27 points and 7 rebounds and 3 assists. And then you had Rui Hachimura with 15. You had Austin Reeves with 11. Then you had Finney Smith, a former Dallas Maverick, come in and had 5. And, they did get about 5, 7, 9, 11 points off the bench for the Los Angeles Lakers, shooting the ball 46% from the field. You can't be mad at that.
Right.
But Dallas struggled offensively. I mean, even though they shot 50% from the field, there was only 9 of 26 from the three-point line. Anthony Davis did not have his best game last night.
Mm-hmm.
He did have 13 and 11, but that's not Anthony Davis that we was expecting. I think we get a better Anthony Davis once Anthony Davis goes to LA. It goes back to LA for the first time. I think that's going to be an interesting thing there. But to look at it, PJ Washington with 14, Najee Marshall had a coming out party for me, for Dallas. I don't know what just happened there, but you just took me off the screen.
No, you're on the screen by yourself.
But I'm just saying, Najee Marshall had himself a coming out party, 23 points, 9 of 14 from the field, 2 of 5 from the three-point line. And the rest was like, you had Spencer Dinwiddie had 10, and Max Christie. I don't know why the Lakers gave up Max Christie. That guy is a baller. In 28 minutes, he did have 11 points. He was 5 of 8 from the field, but he's so quick to get up and down the floor. And I just like the roster that Dallas do have, even with or without Luka. I still like the roster, but they got to win the rest of their games to get into the play-in tournament.